It's Friday, July 10th, 2020, and welcome to the 2020 Economic Preparation Channel and Survival Channel. We've made it to the end of another week, and the Dow Jones, of course, was surging up on a positive note, despite the warning signs all around us of an economy that is imploding in front of our very eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, we have CNBC.com today telling us that wearing masks is the most important thing for this economy, this ailing economy. Now, think for a second. What is the most important thing for this economy to get back to a recovery? Is it for businesses and jobs to close forever? Is it for the consumer to be locked up with no job, no way of making money to provide for his family? I don't think so. But according to the Dallas Fed President Robert Kaplan, he says that the Federal Reserve President of Dallas, Robert Kaplan, says that managing the coronavirus, and I quote, is the most important issue for the economy now. If we all wore a mask, it would substantially mute the transmission of this disease and we would grow faster. That's what he told Fox Business, end quote. His comments came aggressive amid historically aggressive fiscal and monetary measures by both the Congress and the Federal Reserve. Now, for the last, 8 months, the Federal Reserve has been printing money up in the trillions for the repo market, for Main Street, for Wall Street, for everybody. And now they're telling us that wearing masks in public is the most important message that they want to get for the economy to get recovery. Well, I have news. I think that the main problem with the U.S. economic conundrum that we're in now is that the debt load is so high. Corporate debt is at an all-time high. Consumer debt is at an all-time high. We have record bankruptcies coming up soon in the next 2 months. We have record foreclosures. We have record unemployment numbers. That is the main thing that they need to be worried about. Congress needs to be worried about it. The 435 members in the House of Representatives need to be worried about it. The 100 members of the Senate need to be worried about it. Our president needs to be more concerned about the unemployment numbers that is still double digits. I remind you, it has only ticked down 2 points. We're still at 11% nationwide. And that's just the numbers that they're giving us, they're telling us in the media. We know that the numbers are much higher. We have over 50 million people unemployed right now. As a matter of fact, the jobless claims that came out last Thursday, guess what? They were better than expected, but still over 1.3 million initial jobless claims filed yesterday. Okay? So we have a lot of people that's hurting in this system. Whatever you want to call yourself, middle class, poor class, upper middle class, whatever. Everybody's hurting in this pestilence virus shutdown thing. Okay. Another article, U.S. producer prices unexpectedly fall in June. U.S. producer prices fell in June as the economy battles depressed demand. Not only are we facing a low demand for products, services, and goods, but we're facing a low supply. We're getting both a demand shock and a supply shock. The Labor Department said on Friday its Producer Price Index, or PPI, for final demand dropped 0.2% last month after rebounding 0.4% in May. In the last 12 months through June, the PPI declined 0.8%. Again, economists had predicted that they had forecasted it climbing 0.4% on a year-by-year basis, and they call this breaking news. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are headed toward even deeper recession than what we thought possible. Coronavirus cases are resurging. Let's not forget what's happening here. And this is going to mean what is going to mean for us. That means more states are shutting down, more barbershops, more gyms, more businesses, small businesses like your dentist's office, your lawyer's office, your tax preparer's office. Your restaurants are shutting down that depend on foot traffic to come in their buildings. Is shutting down because they can't survive on takeout only type of setups that we've seen in many parts of the country. And another interesting fact, my friends, I was coming through a gas station, a convenience store that has, that sells food too as well, kind of like a Wawa type of thing. And they had a sign on the front door that said that there's a shortage of U.S. coins. I don't know if you guys have seen that or been on the look at that, but they're putting signs on these convenience store doors like 7-Eleven and Wawa and other stores saying that there's a shortage of U.S. coins from the Treasury. So they can't make exact change if you were to come in with cash and, pay and try to get change back, with coins. So they're asking people to only pay with credit card. I thought that was very interesting. As the economy continues to hurt, that means that the circulation of money is slowing down. The velocity of money, as you know, there's only so much money in this economy that's printed up, okay? And the circulation, the money has to move. The money supply has to move constantly, just like gasoline has to move constantly in your car in order to have a working economy. Well, apparently, the circulation of money, the velocity of money is slowing down tremendously in this economy. And they're asking people to use credit cards, debit cards, and other means of payment rather than using cash because they can't make exact change, like convenience stores, gas stations, things of that nature. Even grocery stores are saying they're having a shortage change. So that was an interesting sign. But this is another bellwether, another canary in the coal mine that things are not as good as they're telling you on pundits, or these political pundits are telling you on TV. And matter of fact, the Federal Reserve Chairman, Mrs. Meester, said yesterday that economic growth is leveling off, and she seems to suggest that more stimulus needs to be coming. Well, more stimulus is coming, but here's the problem. Now, the second stimulus check has stipulations. They're saying that people who make over $40,000 a year combined will not get a check. And so everyone this second time is not going to get a check if they get one at all. Businesses are going to be bankrupt. More businesses are closing up day by day. The bankruptcy list is growing. There is rising inequality, rising unhappiness. And apparently everybody's acting as if turning a blind eye is going to solve anything. Listen, we are bankrupt as cities, states, counties. As a matter of fact, a lot of counties are raising their property taxes on homeowners because they realize that they're going to have a crunch of money. A lot of pensions are going to be stalling out when the stock market finally goes to kaboom. Right now, everything looks good, but it's only 4 companies that are driving a whole market. The whole stock market is run by, which 4 companies I'm talking about, are 5 companies: Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google, Microsoft. Okay, how can you have a whole economy based on 5 companies whose earnings may or may not be legitimate? But apparently, it's running the whole country. Listen, Walgreens to cut over 4,000 jobs at Boots on a dark day for UK jobs. Okay, Boots, John Lewis, and the UK or London arm of Burger King announced job cuts on Thursday as companies count the damage of lockdown measures. Listen, how can you have a working economy when 50 million people out of the 100 and so million people that actually can work in the United States is not working? Meanwhile, in the U.S., Delta Airlines, they're saying that their jobs could be at risk as early as September, October. They may have to face layoffs. United Airlines warned that 36,000 employees, according to MarketWatch.com article, on Wednesday, that their jobs could be at risk. And government figures on Thursday showed 33 million people claiming unemployment benefits. Now, we know that number is higher. We know it's closer to 50 million, but, we're going to take their word for it. Walgreens announced a $2 billion impairment charge, citing ongoing uncertainty to COVID-19 and its third quarter operating loss. Folks, in this uncertain and difficult time, you need to have a plan. And that's why I tell everybody the 4 biggest assets you can get right now is land, food, water, and security. If you don't have any of those assets to work with, to grow your own food and to be as self-sufficient as possible, then you need to make a plan in this next coming months to do so, because it's not going to get any better, and we can only depend on ourselves when all of these public services are going to be slowly and gradually broken down because they just don't have the money to survive, okay? And on top of that, a lot of companies are filing bankruptcy. Brooks Brothers, bankrupt. Hertz Rental Car, bankrupt. Filing for Chapter 11 bank. These jobs are not coming back. And so the earnings season that they're talking about for the third or fourth quarter in 2020, anything is possible, one analyst said. There will be no earnings because right now, there's no vaccine. There's no cure for this apparent sickness that's going around the world, okay? GDP is slipping. Half of the companies in the S&P 500 index have withdrawn their earnings guidance because they don't know. The few who haven't are just afraid to, okay? They don't know. Only company that may have a chance, like you said, is Amazon or Walmart, because they own everything, and they're the only companies that have the distribution channels that can survive this thing. And the cash reserves, they're sitting on $100 billion cash. Apple, Amazon, Google, Facebook, they're sitting over $100 billion cash, so they can survive a downturn for a year or two. Unfortunately, we know on my channel that this next downturn is going to be a 10-year thing, because it's going to be a depression. Okay, the system has to reset. There's too much wealth in the hands of a few people. Okay, when one man is worth $100 billion and he worth more than over 2/3 the world's population, there's something really wrong with this picture. Okay, something really wrong with. And matter of fact, I'm just going to say the truth is the economy has never been the same. The U.S. economy has never been the same since September 11, 2001. Okay, the U.S. economy has never been normalized since that day forward, when those World Trade Centers things, were gone. Okay, that's when the U.S. economy really went into an abnormal state. Okay, ever since then, and we never recovered since then. Okay. So get prepared now. The $600 a week unemployment checks bonus is ending. Please get prepared. Continue to stay tuned for the latest updates. I'm going to keep you informed. And if you like any suggestions of what you'd like me to cover, please comment below, and please subscribe to this channel, and tell anyone you know to subscribe to this channel immediately. Thank you, and have a great weekend.